I'm Sav and... Oh, we didn't put this. Hey everyone, I'm Sav and this is Lagom Eats. As Christmas is drawing closer, I'm already actually planning out my Christmas menu. I like to change it up a little bit each year, but the star of the show is always this beautiful prime rib. Now today I'm going to show you the absolute best way to cook it. We're going to be reverse searing it for that gorgeous edge-to-edge medium rare cook. And then we're going to be making this super simple but super flavorful horseradish sauce to go with it. Let's take a look at the ingredients. We're going to use a 5-pound prime rib, 3 tablespoons of grapeseed oil, salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of chopped rosemary, 1 tablespoon of thyme leaves, 2 cloves of garlic. For the horseradish sauce, we're going to use a 1/4 cup of mayo, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1/2 cup of sour cream, 2 to 3 tablespoons of horseradish, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Let's get cooking. So today we're using a 5-pound boneless prime rib roast from Snake River Farms. Snake River Farms has American Wagyu. It's got this beautiful marbling that you can see. The beef is just super tender and absolutely delicious. Check out the link below if you want to buy some Snake River Farms prime rib. You won't be disappointed, I promise. We're using a boneless prime rib roast today. You can use a bone-in if you prefer, but before you cook it, cut off the bones in the beginning and then using kitchen twine, tie it back to the roast. This is gonna make it so much easier to carve once it's cooked. You can also ask your butcher to do this as well. Now, if you watched my roast turkey video, then you know how much I love dry brining. It is the key to getting a super juicy either steak or chicken, turkey, whatever kind of meat you're making. It's going to concentrate that flavor and make it really juicy and tender. So we're going to dry brine this as well. We're going to liberally sprinkle this all over with salt. This is a big piece of meat, so make sure you get a lot of salt on there. Don't be stingy. All right, so we've got our prime rib that has been salted on a baking sheet. We're using this baking rack, and this is exactly how we're gonna bake it, but it's not ready to be baked yet. We're going to put this in the fridge uncovered for 12 to up to 24 hours. So all that salt can concentrate that flavor and make it super tender and juicy. Now we're gonna make our super simple horseradish sauce. You wanna make this about the day before when you're dry brining your prime rib because this tastes better kind of the next day once the flavors have some time to melt and get to know each other. We're gonna be using a 1/2 cup of our sour cream. We're gonna put now a 1/4 cup of mayo, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, I can still never say that, 2 to 3 tablespoons of horseradish. Now this all depends on your taste. If you don't like a super horseradishy sauce, don't put as much, but if you like it kind of spicy and nasal cleansing, then put a lot in there. I'll start with that, see if we need to add more. About a teaspoon of lemon juice. 1/2 teaspoon of some garlic powder. Put a little bit of pepper in there. A pinch of salt. All right, let's go ahead and mix that up. You can really smell that horseradish. Like I said, if you get too much, it'll definitely clean your sinuses. Go ahead and give it a little taste. Perfect. All right, so we are back after about 12 hours. So now we're going to finish making our rub for our prime rib. So we will add in our thyme, rosemary, and of course if you like sage, you can add in some oregano, any, spices that you like. We're gonna microplane in our garlic. And now about 1 to 2 teaspoons of freshly cracked black pepper. All right, now we're going to add in about probably 3 tablespoons of some grapeseed oil. You can use canola oil, vegetable oil, any kind of neutral oil, not olive oil. You just want to kind of moisten it. All right, we're gonna stir it. All right, so now we'll just brush this rub all over our prime rib. So now we're gonna let this sit at room temperature for about an hour to an hour and a half so the prime rib can come up to room temperature so it'll cook more evenly. We have our oven preheated to 250 degrees. We're gonna put our prime rib in there for about 3 to 3.5 hours. If you have a different size prime rib, it's gonna be about 35 to 40 minutes per pound. Now we're gonna be cooking this to medium rare. So we're gonna take it out when the internal temperature reaches about 130 degrees. Now I like it a little bit more on the rare side versus the more medium side. So I'm gonna take this out when the internal temperature reaches 125. When you take any kind of meat out of the oven, it's still going to continue to cook and rise in temperature. However, since we're cooking this low and slow, it's not gonna rise up too much, probably only a few degrees. So if we take it out at 125, it'll reach almost that 130. If you take it out at 130, it's gonna reach almost that 135. So depending on how you like it cooked, if you like it more medium, take it out at 135. If you like it more on the rare side, take it out at 120. Our prime rib has reached 125 degree internal temperature. It took about 3 hours in the oven. If you're using a bone-in prime rib, it's gonna take a little bit longer. Just make sure you're constantly measuring the temperature so you take it out at the correct time. So now we have preheated our oven to about 500 degrees, or we're gonna broil it on high. We're gonna broil it for about 5 to 7 minutes until it's really nice and brown on the top. Our prime rib only took about 5 minutes in the oven. It's got a gorgeous sear on it. So since we already let it rest, we don't need to let it rest any longer. We can slice right into it. So let's go ahead. Gorgeous color. Ooh. That perfect medium rare, edge to edge. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be incredible. Wow, this looks absolutely incredible. Let's put just a little bit of this horseradish sauce on top, just to kind of balance out that meaty flavor. God, it smells so amazing. Just can't wait to cut into this. I mean, it just melts in your mouth. It's super juicy. I mean, this is the best, the most high quality meat you can get, really. That horseradish sauce brings a little bit of spice, brings a bit of creaminess. It just balances out that really meaty and savory flavor. I hope you guys enjoyed the best way to cook prime rib. The full recipe can be found on my food blog at logofmeats.com. I've got new delicious dishes coming out every week, so hit a like and subscribe below. I'll see you guys next time. Hey-do.